So guys, welcome back. This is the last chapter in Dear Esther, and this is the beacon. So we have exited the caves and we are now back on this very strange island. That's a beautiful scene, isn't it? So I'm really interested to see what happens at the end of this. It's intrigued me all the way through.
Over the Sanford Junction, headlights in your retinas. Donnelly drove a grey hatchback without a bottom. All the creatures of the tarmac rose to sing to him. All manner of symbols crudely scrawled across the cliff face of my unrest. My life reduced to an electrical diagram. All my gulls have taken flight. They will no longer roost on these outcrops. The lure of the moon over the Sanford Junction is too strong.
Everything in this game looks so epic. The designers really did an awesome job with the graphics. Is that someone standing there again? It is.
Dear Esther, I find each step harder and heavier. I drag Donnelly's corpse on my back across these rocks, and all I hear are his whispers of guilt, his reminders, his burnt letters, his neatly folded clothes. He tells me I was not drunk at all.
What is this? It's a computer or something? Or a heart monitor, or something. It looks like some medical equipment. I'd like to know how all these candles got here and who lit them. Okay, more symbols. What's this? A photo? There's the beacon. We're getting close. Is this like wreckage of a car or something?
There were chemical diagrams on the mug he gave me coffee in, sticky at the handle where his hands shook. He worked for a pharmaceutical company with an office based on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. He'd been travelling back from a sales conference in Exeter, forming a strategic vision for the peddling of antacid yogurt to the European market. You could trace the connections with your finger, join the dots, and whole new compounds would be summoned into activity.
I can't read that, so maybe I'll look it up after I finish the game. Or if someone wants to comment, feel free to do so. So here's a question for you guys, if anyone wants to help. Is this the same as the mod for Half-Life?
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic. and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
So yeah, as I was saying, is this game the same as the mod for Half-Life 2 or Half-Life, whichever one it is? I don't even know. Just out of interest. I mean, obviously the graphics probably aren't as good, but is the story the same? And does it play out the same way? How is there eggs here? I can't read that. Something. A light from heaven shone around him, and he fell to the ground. Okay, we're getting close now to the beacon.
The pain in my leg sent me blind for a few minutes as I struggled up the cliff path. I swallowed another handful of painkillers, and now I feel almost lucid. The island around me has retreated to a hazed distance, whilst the moon appears to have descended into my palm to guide me. I can see a thick black line of infection reaching for my heart from the waistband of my trousers. Through the fugue, it's all the world like the path I have cut from the lowlands towards the aerial. I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together. If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
Again with the infection? Sounds like there's a plague or something. Okay, we're getting really close now.
The stones in my stomach will weigh me down and ensure my descent is true and straight. I will break through the fog of these godforsaken pills and achieve clarity. All my functions are clogged, all my veins are choked. If my leg doesn't rot off before I reach the summit, it will be a miracle. There are 21 connections in the circuit diagram of the anti-lock brakes. There are 21 species of gull inhabiting these islands. It is 21 miles between the Sandford Junction and the turn-off for home. All these things cannot, will not be a coincidence.
Okay, what's this say? And it came to pass that something, I can't see it. Something journey. I can't read it.
A gull perched on a spent bonnet, sideways, whilst the sirens fell through the middle distance and the metal moaned in grief about us. I'm about this night in walking. Old bread and gull bones. Old Donnelly at the bar gripping his drink. Old Esther walking with our children. Old Paul as ever. Old Paul. He shakes and he shivers and he turns off his lights alone.
Okay, so really interested to see what's going to happen here now.
I am the Ariel. In my passing, I will send news to each and every star. Dear Esther, I have burnt my belongings, my books, this death certificate. Mine will be written all across this island. Who was Jakobsen? Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an Ariel, a beacon, that they will not forget you. We have always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jakobsen flying beside me. They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland, where help will be sent.
Oh wow. So am I a bird or something? I could see a shadow underneath me. Am I a gull or... see?
Come back.
Okay guys, so that's the end of Dear Esther. So I really enjoyed this game actually. It was kind of short, but it was really nice graphics. Probably some of the nicest I've seen, especially for a game that's not very, doesn't have a big budget or nothing, and that originated from a mod for Half-Life. So I really enjoyed this. I'd recommend that any of you guys that are interested to purchase it for yourself. It's not that expensive. You can buy it on Steam. I think it's around £7 or something like that. and you also get the soundtrack with it. And yeah, I just recommend play it yourself. It's the kind of game that you enjoy most playing it yourself. So that's it, guys. Stay tuned for the next video. I'll be doing a few more new games soon. So as always, like and favorite if you did enjoy this series, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye.